Hello, you are watching Shalom World News. I'm David Kerr from Lansing in Michigan, and these are your latest news headlines from around the world. A Nicaraguan bishop who is an outspoken critic of the country's president is being detained by police within his diocesan chancery building. The Nicaraguan government accused Bishop Jose Alvarez Lagos of Matagalpa of inciting anti-government violence. He denies that charge. The present standoff began on Thursday morning when police blocked Bishop Alvarez Lagos from leaving his diocesan offices to celebrate Holy Mass. In the end, in an act of defiance, the bishop took to the streets with the Blessed Sacrament and prayed publicly on the sidewalk. The incident is the latest in a standoff between the Sandinista government, led by President Daniel Ortega, and the Catholic Church. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has suspended a state prosecutor who was refusing to uphold Florida's abortion law. Hillsborough County State Attorney Andrew Warren was suspended by Governor De Santis on Thursday. At a press conference, he said state attorneys have a duty to prosecute crimes as defined in Florida law, not to pick and choose which laws to enforce based on his personal agenda. After the reversal of Roe v. Wade by the US Supreme Court in June, Warren signed a statement refusing to uphold Florida's abortion law, which has a 15-week term limit. Warren's position has now been taken by Judge Susan Lopez. Meanwhile, against the backdrop of a defeat for a pro-life constitutional amendment in the state of Kansas, the Archbishop of Kansas City has stressed the need to intensify efforts to protect unborn children in the law. Archbishop Joseph F. Naumann says it is time to redouble efforts when it comes to working with pregnancy resource centres. Meanwhile, the executive director of the Kansas Catholic Conference, Chuck Weber, says that the church has to step forward with resources and alternatives to abortion, as Kansas could become a destination state in the American Midwest for those seeking to abort their child in the womb. The constitutional proposal, known as the Value Them Both Amendment, was seeking to reverse a 2019 Kansas Supreme Court verdict which enshrined abortion as a fundamental right. The amendment was defeated earlier this month in a statewide referendum by 59% to 41%. Bishops in the Democratic Republic of Congo have appealed to citizens to refrain from violence and looting. The appeal comes after 36 people died and another 170 were injured in clashes with United Nations troops last week. The bishops say that they understand the anger of the people, but that violence cannot be tolerated. The head of the Congolese Bishops' Conference, Archbishop Marcel Untembe Tapa Kisangani, urged people instead to demonstrate in a peaceful manner. The UN force in the Congo has around 16,000 troops, but so far has failed to stabilise the insecurity in the country's east, which has raged for more than 20 years. The Archbishop of Nigeria's capital city says his country is on the brink of disaster. In an interview with the charity Aid to the Church in Need, Archbishop Ignatius K. Gama of Abuja said some years ago there were bomb attacks, but there has never been a really serious threat as we are witnessing now. Bishop K. Gama decried the authorities' mishandling of terrorism, unrest and violence. Recently, Islamic militants attacked military checkpoints on the outskirts of Abuja, killing many soldiers. They also raided a prison, bringing fellow Islamists from their incarceration. Bishop Kagama said Abuja is the capital city and it should be the safest place to be. This is where the president lives. We didn't think things could happen in Abuja in this manner. Meanwhile, in conflict-hit Ethiopia, the country's most senior cleric has sounded the alarm over churches being shut down and priests and nuns being forced to flee because of the war in the northern region of Tigray. Cardinal Berhanius Surafil of Addis Ababa says that the insecurity has made it difficult for the church to carry out pastoral work in several communities within the Diocese of Adigrat, which is in Tigray. The Ethiopian government ordered a military offensive against the separatist Tigray People's Liberation Front in November 2020. Since then, the conflict has intensified, while the region of Tigray has been largely cut off from the rest of Ethiopia due to a government blockade. Pope Francis says that the term synodality is best understood as the actions of the Holy Spirit in the Church. According to the Jesuit publication La Civiltà Cattolica, the Pope expressed his view in a meeting with his fellow Jesuits during his recent visit to Canada. The Holy Father, it says, suggested to those present that the word synod does not refer to a political meeting nor a committee for parliamentary decisions. He added that the best book on the theology of the synod is the Acts of the Apostles. Pope Francis said that if one rereads Acts, then one can clearly see the actions of the Holy Spirit. In March 2020, Pope Francis announced his intention to convene a synod of bishops in Rome to discuss the issue of synodality. This synod on synodality will take place in October 2023. A bill permitting 2 Australian jurisdictions to be able to set their own laws on euthanasia has been approved by the lower house of the Australian Parliament. At present, the Australian Capital Territory, which contains the capital city of Canberra, and the Northern Territory are the only Australian jurisdictions not allowed to legislate on end-of-life laws. Now, the Australian House of Representatives has approved a private member's bill introduced by Labour MPs Alicia Payne and Luke Gosling, which aims to overturn that 25-year-old ban. The legislation will now go to the Parliament's upper chamber, the Senate, for a final vote. The bill is entitled the Restoring Territory Rights Bill, which the body representing the country's Catholic healthcare providers say is a Trojan horse title for a pro-euthanasia law. Catholic Health Australia say the bill should have been referred to a Senate committee to probe the access and affordability of palliative care services in the 2 territories. As of May this year, every state in Australia has now legalised euthanasia. Well, that's your latest headlines for now. Do join us for more tomorrow. You can also join us at swnews.org for news updates. Shalom.